U.S. Navy Captain Crozier. Without knowing specific details, I'm pretty sure the dude is a goddamn fucking hero. Anyone who has worked in a government bureaucracy knows how frustrating it can be to ask higher command for help and to present higher command with data, to present facts that indicate a problem that needs immediate fixing. And we're told, no. I'm sure there's another way that you can do this, and that. But a lot of us have experienced how frustrating that can be. To not have your voice heard, to have your problems ignored and then your solutions ignored. So now looking back at Captain Crozier, dude's been in the Navy 30 years. But further, he commanded a nuclear aircraft carrier. There are very few human beings who ever get that opportunity in the world. And so you have to believe that only the cream of the crop get given jobs like that. Now, anyone in government bureaucracy knows that horrible leadership gets put into big roles all the time. But, hear me out. He had been in the Navy long enough to know that by sending out that email, he was ruining his career. Because to send out an email like that, and to have no concept of how negatively that could impact your career, to be totally naive to how infuriated your direct superior would be, that I just can't believe that. I can't believe that he would be so naive that he wouldn't think that he would lose his job, right? Like, you'd have to be an idiot to send an email like that and not think your career is in some shit. But if you're commanding a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, you're not an idiot. So he knew exactly what he was doing. He knew that by sending that email, he was putting his career in the Navy at risk. He was jeopardizing it. He was going to lose out on opportunities because officers do not like that shit. Military bureaucracy does not champion dissent. It doesn't champion rocking the boat, stepping out, coloring outside the line. None of that shit. It doesn't champion that. And he knew that. So now, if we're all in agreement that he knew writing that email was going to hurt his career negatively, then why did he do it? I would imagine the ship's medical officer was probably presenting him with data each day saying, hey, this is how many cases we have, and this is what I recommend we do. This is how many cases we have, and this is what I recommend we do. Each day, the number's going up and up and up, and now the increases, the number of people who have, new people who've gotten the virus is increasing. So at first, there was one new person a day. Then there's 2 new people a day, then 3 new people a day, and then 4 new a day, and so on. You see where I'm going with this? And then now it's 15 a day. Then we had 16 today, right? So if there's just 15 a day, every day, that's one thing. But the number of new cases is going up. That indicates a massive problem. That's indicating outbreak status. So, I don't know. The medical officer was probably presenting that data to this captain. Captain Crozier was probably taking this data to his superiors and saying, I think that we need an evacuation of this ship before this thing gets really, really bad. And his superiors don't know for a fact, but we could probably all assume that his superior was just like, nah, you know what? Look, I know it looks bad, but I just need you guys to hold on, keep the ship clean, keep the sailors engaged, make sure they understand all of the risks and all of the methods of contracting this virus, and mitigate all those risks the best you can. But we don't want to do an evacuation yet because now we've taken a nuclear warship out of the fight. And that's not going to look good for me if I'm Crozier's superior, right? Because what is that superior probably going to say? Right? Crozier's initial superior is just thinking, oh, fuck, now I'm going to have to tell my boss that one of our ARGs, amphibious readiness groups, I think it was part of an ARG, at least just one of our fucking aircraft carriers that is planned to be combat ready is now not. Is now completely out of the fight. He's going to have to tell that to the guy above him. And the guy above him is going to have to tell that to the guy above him. And I can't imagine that any of these guys has a vision of a positive response from the guy above him. Everyone is assuming, fuck, this is going to make me look bad. Fuck, I'm going to have to do a lot of explaining. Right? Then maybe they're envisioning the conversations of the guy above him saying, what are you doing taking a nuclear warship out of the fight? Just have the sailors increase the cleanliness and do this and take measures. There are things you can do to decrease the spread of this disease. Just do the things. Right? They're probably imagining the guy above them is going to say that. So that's what they tell Crozier. And Crozier every day was probably, again, we'll figure out all this shit when the investigation results come out. He was probably going back to the superiors each day. Hey, look, I got this many new cases. I recommend again, sir, I understand how, what a big deal it is to take a nuclear warship out of the fight. I do understand that, sir. But at the same time, I still think this is the right thing to do. Because this virus is spreading rapidly on my ship. And I think this drastic action is needed. He's probably saying this every day. And the guy wasn't listening. So, at some point, Crozier is probably like, I'm just imagining, God, I'd love to recreate this. He's probably just sitting in his office, just thinking, oh, they're not taking this serious. Right? These guys above me, they don't see what I'm seeing. They don't see my infirmary stacked with fucking patients. They don't see that we're out of beds. They don't see how many people we have locked down. They don't see how much more damaging this will be to the ship in both the short and long term if the virus continues to spread like this. They're not seeing that. And I've been trying to get them to see this, and they're still not seeing it. So I have to take a more drastic action to get them to really understand. And actually, maybe he wasn't even thinking about getting them to see it. Because I think he avoided one of his direct superiors. He avoided someone in his chain of command on that email, which tells me that whoever he didn't put on the email was the biggest fucking asshole of everybody. Right? Why else would he not put him on there? Because that's making a public statement, is fuck him. He's not listening, so I'm not even going to bother. That's what that action means. So he's thinking to himself, I just don't want my sailors to die. I need an action taken. And the guy above me isn't taking the action, so I'm going to go around him. Someone will take the action necessary, which I think the action necessary was evacuate the ship. So he's thinking to himself, all right, I have to take this action. And I'm taking this action to protect the health, safety, and lives of the sailors on my ship. That's it. There's no other reason to do this. Because he knows when I do this, my direct superior is going to be really mad, which means a really bad fit rep. And for officers, a bad fit rep, that's just death. Can't have that. So he's like, I'm going to get a horrible fit rep. My direct supervisor I will have embarrassed him in front of the world by doing that. And there's a good chance I could lose my job. Right? He's not an idiot. His part of his job is to war game, right? Commanding a naval vessel. It's got to be one of the coolest jobs, or coolest parts of the job. He had to have been like, you know what? What's the worst that happens? I get relieved of my command. Would they court-martial me? I don't think so. But if that's thinking worst case, if my career is over, well, I've been in the Navy for 30 years. I've flown helicopters. I've flown jets. And I've commanded naval vessels to the tune of a nuclear fucking aircraft carrier. Right? Like, I've had a good run. The worst case scenario isn't that bad because I have had an amazing career in the U.S. Navy that I am so grateful for. And I'd be okay if it ended, knowing that I ended my career to save the lives of my sailors. Yeah, I'm okay going out like that. Fuck it. I wonder, was that what it was like? Is that what ran through his head? Because if it is, that means he defines hero. He knew he was potentially sacrificing. Well, no, he knew that his job as the commander of the aircraft carrier was gone. He knew that. So he's sacrificing his position as commander of an aircraft carrier, which is going to negatively affect the rest of his career. And he does it anyways. If that's not selfless, what the fuck is? That's insane. For a naval officer? Now, anyone who has served in the U.S. Navy knows naval officers do not have the best reputation for fucking selfless leadership. Not at all. Not at all. My experience on the USS Germantown and the USS Denver was not stellar naval leadership. So that's my personal experience. But then every Navy sailor I've ever spoken with never had many great things to say about naval officers unless they were pilots. And pilots are cool no matter where you go. Pilots are always the fucking bomb diggity. But what do you know? Crozier was a pilot. So he's a fucking hero. He does what he needs to do to save lives. And he's out. He's like, yeah, I expect this to happen. Then, the fucking Secretary of the Navy. Wow, that guy. What a special breed of naval officer. Comes down to the ship. I'm trying to think, what was his intention? Was his intention to make the crew feel better about the whole situation? Was it just to get the crew to forgive him for a decision that he knew was unpopular amongst the crew? Did he come down to the ship to earn the endearment of the crew? Did he think that they were going to like him more? Or they were going to not dislike him so much because he came down and talked to them? You got to wonder, what the fuck was that guy thinking? Coming down to the ship and just shaming the captain that he just fired for protecting them. What was that guy thinking? That's wild. That's weird. People in positions that high doing stuff like that. Ugh. That's really fucking weird. I listened to the fucking audio of his speech to the ship. It's on SoundCloud. Paul Soldra put that shit up there. Right? So that just means one of the sailors was just probably recording on their phone and then sent the audio to someone, and then Paul got a hold of it. Paul runs, he started Duffel Blog. That's his baby. And then I think he runs Task and Purpose, editor-in-chief there. Thank God Paul posted it, because that's fucking brilliant. For us to hear the audacity of our former Secretary of the Navy. It's just stands as a perfect example of what not to do and who not to be. So the investigation will release us the results at some point soon. And my prediction is that that Navy captain is a goddamn hero, that he tried to save his crew time and time again. He wasn't heard. He took an action to protect his crew that he knew would ruin his career. He did it anyways and was cheered as he left, was escorted off the ship. When was the last time enlisted sailors cheered an officer? Honestly. And for all you Navy cats, get in the comments of this shit. Like, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on this. But, more importantly than your thoughts, because who gives a fuck about those? Just kidding. Your stories. If anyone listening, if you have a story that sounds similar to what I just told here today with regards to your leadership not listening, feeling that frustration of not being heard, I want you to share that story, please. Share that in the comments. And then if we think the story's super badass, we'll reach out. And then maybe you can tell it on Vet TV in some way. Maybe you can submit it in a cell phone video, submit that story to us. But if not, just put it in the comments, and then we'll go from there. But I would love to hear from you, the audience, from the people who have been in the Navy or actually been in the military in general, but especially been in situations like this, when your voice wasn't heard and your leadership failed you. I'd love for you to put that in the comments. And guess what? Your stories always make their way into TV. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm wearing the shirt with the logo right now. And don't forget that the stories you guys give us make their way into Vet TV's shows. So let's go. Let's see in the comments what you guys got. Also, what did you think of Crozier? Hope you guys get some value out of this conversation, and we'll keep it going. So I hope you guys got some value. So I hope this resonated with some of you, all of you ideally, but at least some of you. And I hope you can share a story with us that can help connect this community together and potentially improve the quality of leadership and decisions by being more open about what's going on and what we're all thinking and feeling. Military likes to tell you to shut up. We at Vet TV, we're not in the military, and we encourage you to speak up and express yourself, what you're thinking and you're feeling, because that's important. And the military is not going to give a fuck, but we will. All right, guys, thank you so much. Appreciate you. We'll see you after this investigation, and we'll resume the conversation. Love to hear your guys' thoughts.